Hey everyone, today we are beginning our first unit for English 1. Everything that we have done before today has been a review of what you should have learned at the end of last year. So, in this unit, what we will do is read a short story and you will write a literary analysis in which you analyze symbolism and a few other literary devices in the short story, The Scarlet Abyss. So today we're going to review what is symbolism. Symbolism is the use of symbols to signify ideas and qualities by giving them symbolic meanings that are different from their literal sense. Symbolism can take different forms. Generally, it is an object representing another to give an entirely different meaning that is much deeper and more significant. Sometimes, however, an action, an event, or a word spoken by someone may have a symbolic value. So, when you think of symbolism, think of everything that you see, whether it's in a magazine, an advertisement online, um, in a TV show, or in something you read, you will probably encounter symbolism. So, think of Valentine's Day. If someone gives red roses to another person, that symbolizes love. So, actions, what we do, what we say, what we read, what we encounter, everything has symbolism. So, much of what we see, hear, read, and watch can have symbolic meaning, and we give many things symbolic meaning so that what we encounter can become more meaningful to us. Let's look at some examples of symbolism. Many colors have symbolic meaning. Red symbolizes love, black symbolizes death and mourning, yellow symbolizes hope, and white symbolizes purity. Many images have symbolic meanings, which can be very simple as a single image or can become very complex and artistic. So this is a common symbol that we all know is the peace sign. The peace sign was given the symbolic meaning of peace. Now, whenever we see it, we think of peace. It's also become something that people put on their walls, people use when they take a picture. So whenever we see this, it's something that has become very common, and we've taken the meaning out of it to an extent by using it so much. But when we see that, we automatically think peace. Starry Night. So this is an example of complex symbolism. Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh is another example of a work of art or an image that contains symbolism. Many speculate that Van Gogh's work symbolizes his illness, and the entire work symbolizes sadness over the future loss of life. So when you look at the image, there are bursts of color in the yellow. And again, yellow symbolizes hope, but much of the colors in the piece are dark blues or black. So you have contradicting colors and what they mean in the work of art. You've got black and dark colors, which can symbolize mourning, loss of life, but you also have hope. So while the entire piece symbolizes his illness, the wind and the direction that it's moving towards the yellow, towards the night, symbolizes a soul traveling towards the afterlife. So there is hope even in the midst of his illness. And then we encounter symbolism in literature. Much of what we read in literature has symbolic meanings, and symbolism can be represented in other literary devices such as metaphors and allegory. The following slides will show you examples of symbolism. Our first example comes from Shakespeare's As You Like It. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. Take a minute and try to decide what the symbolic meaning is. The lines are symbolic of the idea that as we grow and as we live our lives, there are many roles that we will have to play as people, and in these lines specifically, as men and women. So as we grow, as we mature, there are going to be different roles that we play in our lives. Symbolism in Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. My love for Linton is like the foliage in the woods. Time will change it, I'm well aware, as winter changes the trees. My love for Heathcliff resembles the eternal rocks beneath a source of little visible delight, but necessary. Take a minute and try to decide what the symbolism is. The quote symbolizes the love the woman has for the two men and how different it is. Her first love is going to change, much like the trees change with the changing of the seasons. So when you think of summer to winter, or summer to fall to winter, and the foliage and how much it changes, that is what her love is like for the first man, Linton. Her second love is solid like a rock and unchanging, and much like a rock, it can be cold. So the person, Heathcliff, that she's talking about can be cold and unchanging, but that love is necessary. And then we have symbolism in Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, Harry is marked by the lightning shaped scar on his forehead. This scar symbolizes what happened to him, but it also symbolizes the courage Harry continues to show despite his circumstances. So, despite the loss that he's experienced and the way in which he lost his parents, he is still able to overcome many obstacles and show that courage, and that is represented in his scar. So, the scar is very symbolic. So, in conclusion, symbolism can be found in much of what we see, hear, and read. A symbol can represent an idea or a quality. As you read, watch TV, listen to music, and see advertisements, think about the different symbols you see and what they represent.